Saddle up, goblins and ghouls. Put on your cheap drugstore masks, because we're headed back to the era when trick-or-treating reigned supreme. I'm talking about, I don't know, let's say October 31st, 1983, back when my generation's parents sent us disgusting little booger eaters and latchkey kids out into the dark night in these toxic masks, these toxic plastic masks that obscured our vision to accept candy from strangers. If they really wanted to protect us and if we were a little too young, they probably sent us out with some teenagers, who would steal our candy and say to us, "You better shut it if you know it's good for you." And you can see in this picture, I'm the little, well, not so little, I'm the fat little gypsy on the left-hand corner there. I probably didn't need that much candy. Let's just be honest about it. It was probably a good thing that my candy was stolen because I was shoving too much stuff in my pie hole as it was. But this was back when the threat was not that some pasty, scrawny little kid with peanut allergies just might get a whiff of a Reese's peanut butter cup. Oh, hell no. This was when the threat was that some weirdo was going to give you an apple with a razor blade in it. Which, by the way, wasn't that much of a threat because who was going to eat the apple anyway? But the truth was, none of us actually knew anybody this happened to. No, it was just that our parents heard about it on the 6 o'clock news, back when people actually watched the 6 o'clock news. And then the other one that was told on the 6 o'clock news was the Ex-Lax Halloween horror. Yeah, so apparently weirdos were giving out Ex-Lax instead of chocolate to the little kids. And let me tell you, even as a little kid, this made no sense to me. Because, let's just break this down. So, in order for this plan to work, so this weirdo has to buy a bunch of Ex-Lax, which I'm assuming is more expensive than chocolate, although I could be wrong. Then what, rewrap it in Hershey's? Because does it really look that much like chocolate? Does it taste that much like chocolate? I don't know. So then you pass it out, and then what? So the weirdo sits in his dark kitchen, which I'm assuming had colonial furniture in it because, the reproduction furniture, because every kitchen had this hideous shit back then, even the weirdos. And then, anyway, so he sits there in the darkness of his colonial furniture-strewn kitchen and giggles, thinking about the little kids shitting their Spider-Man costumes, which, by the way, were made of plastic, so easy cleanup. But the point is, that is a lot of effort for not much in return. So, I don't know. I never really believed that one. But back then, you didn't have access to as many cute little costumes as kids do now. I mean, my God, the costumes now, they're adorable. Really. Pinterest-worthy, obviously. No, back then you kind of had to just sort of find stuff in the attic or, I don't know, you had to use your wits about you. And I remember we moved from Honolulu to Seattle. So it was very cold. It was my first cold Halloween. And I had this great princess dress, but of course, I had to wear a fisherman sweater and clogs with my princess dress. Really kind of ruined the effect. And then the next year, I was an angel in clogs. And then I was a lady of the night in clogs. Yeah, so my point here is, and by the way, yes, you heard right. I was a lady of the night in clogs. I didn't understand hooker slang. I wore my mom's black dress and I put some like silver tinfoil stars on me, so I was night. So I said, oh, I'm lady of the night in clogs. So yeah, point is, clogs, huge staple of my Halloween repertoire, and they did not know hooker slang when I was 9 years old. Yeah, and then, so then we moved, we moved to Whidbey Island from Seattle, and I dressed up as Groucho Marx, possibly wearing clogs. I wore my dad's old tux, and was Groucho Marx, and I remember a bunch of us banged on this door, boom, 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 banging, 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 and because we saw the TV was on and the lights were on, I mean, clearly this was a place that there was going to be candy. Banging away, and finally, this hippie guy with this droopy mustache rips open the door, and he says, "We don't believe in this capitalist bullshit Halloween holiday. You won't get any candy here. Now get out of here." Yeah. Back then, parents They said weird shit like that to kids, you know, about like capitalism and weird adult stuff that made no sense. Well, anyway, happy Halloween, everybody. But do the kids of today a favor. Make up some new urban myths. Because I gotta tell you something. They're smarter than we were. They'd never believe the ones that we were told.